Hey guys, it's Jed here from Again Faster. I'm here at CrossFit 4055 with Karl Innes, the big guy.
Thanks.
I call him the quadruple threat. So you can sing,
Yeah, obviously.
dance,
Yep.
good at CrossFit.
Yep.
What's the fourth thing?
Undiscovered.
Oh yeah, cool. I like it.
Hidden talent.
Love it. It's a beautiful gym actually at Pure Tennis over here in Ferny Hills.
Yep.
Yep. Great space, man. This is how did this thought even start?
Well, I've got a background in cattle farming.
Yeah.
I still run cattle farm, and this is an agricultural setup.
Yeah.
So a lot of the big farms use this for tractors and machinery, things like that.
Yeah.
And it's completely mobile. So
Yeah.
it's shipping containers in a container dome.
Honestly, it's beautiful.
So going back a few years ago when I looked at building my own box, I wanted to be different.
Yeah.
I didn't want to be, and not that there's anything wrong with it, being an industrial estate.
Yeah.
I wanted something a little unique. And then I stumbled across Pure Tennis at Ferny Hills here, had this vacant block of, spot of land. So
Yeah.
I approached the owner with an idea and a concept.
Yeah,
I think within 2 hours we'd done a handshake deal, and I started building straight away.
that's wild.
So it was quick.
Yeah.
I think from concept to installation was about 12 weeks.
Actually, I remember that process. It was kind of like, oh no, we've already got the 3 containers set up. Oh no, we've already got the roof on.
Well,
now we need to floor the place. Oh, we need to put the rig up. It was
I dropped them out at my farm and
Yeah.
then just started cutting them up. And then once they were manufactured, we'd done all the steel fabrication. We transported them over here, and then it went up really quick.
yeah, it's incredible. We'll get some shots, I think, of the gym through too. It's beautiful. And when did you decide that you wanted to open a box? Like, talk me through that, because I know that you've done CrossFit for a while, but I think taking the plunge from like a member into a gym owner, especially in the CrossFit space, is not a small feat. Like that can be a pretty big.
I think it's
transition.
pretty common though. I think a lot of people find CrossFit, they love it, and then there's a natural transition
Yeah.
from being a CrossFit athlete to an affiliate owner or a box owner. For me, it was an opportunity.
Yeah.
So when COVID hit, the gym I was at closed.
Yeah.
And I just saw an opportunity with a large number of members based. We're all good, everyone knows CrossFit's an awesome community.
Yeah.
We all stayed in touch. I floated the idea and got great feedback from the members of that community. And then once I found the space, I put it out there and off we went. So
It's awesome. Actually, you were just saying before, weren't you, that you did like a park session one day.
Yeah.
And it was like 45 people rocked
yeah,
up.
we
And
just
you're like,
posted saying,
okay.
let's get together. And
Yeah.
there was like 40, 50 people turned up. And it was like an epiphany. I went, here's a group of people that are committed to each other enough to come and train in a park.
Yeah.
If I build something, the cliche of build it, they will
they'll
come.
come.
Well, that they were supportive of the idea. And I think kind of the next step then is I was a CrossFit athlete
Yeah.
or member, and there was a lot to learn about then running your own business.
Yeah. How did you find that? What did you find were the things that you really needed to work on? Because that's what I mean is that's why the jump is significant, right? Because as a member, you don't you just worry about you and obviously your team when you're training, but then you're taking on the position of making sure that your client experience is a good one, that the space is kept well, and they can come and train. There's enough space for everyone. There's enough kit for everyone. Staffing, like there's so many different pieces to that. How did you feel? Like you were prepared?
So I looked at it as a business. So
Yeah.
regardless of the product I was selling,
Yeah.
I had to set it up as a business.
Yeah.
So I just identified my strengths and weaknesses, and then I tried to find the right people to fill the weaknesses.
Yeah.
And I don't mean weaknesses as in necessary skill set, but it can be time management.
Yeah.
So an example of that is I made a decision very early on to not coach.
Yeah.
I love coaching. I love helping people. But when you're trying to run a business, I think you'd burn yourself out. You see that happen.
You do,
You,
yeah.
you can't do coaching.
it's good.
So
Cool.
I'm good with people. I love hanging around people.
Yeah.
I'm all about the people. So I went, well, there's my strength. If I bring in the asset of the coaches and let them coach, and I give them a fair bit of autonomy over the coaching.
Yeah, that's cool.
We do our own programming here, which is done by Blade, my head coach, but it's then given to all the coaches. We all give feedback, we make changes, so we have an ownership of the programming, and then I spend my time and my efforts into the running of the business.
Yeah.
So I separated them. So you've kind of got like on the floor and then behind the scenes.
That's a really good call, like, and a really good way to look at it. And I know that, like, just from the dealings that I've had with other gym owners, you know, a lot of them definitely coach. Sometimes that's the reason why, you know, they were a coach at a gym and they went, you know, I'm just going to run my own show, because they're so passionate about caring for, you know, clients and community. Not that being on the back end isn't, but I think that's just their natural tendency to jump in and coach. And that's a really good point, I think, just acknowledging the fact that I can't do everything. Like, if I want this to go really well and I want this to go really well, I can't do both.
No.
I need to actually, you know, delegate some of my time, and make sure that, you know, the people that are looking after that are really looked after, etc. Which brings me to my next point, actually, because it's one of the things that I love so much about you and this space, and all the times that we chat and talk about it, there's always a story or something, but it's just your community. And I feel like, from what you've just said, that's the reason why you're actually able to you know, nurture such a great community, like your members and the banter and just the wins, you know, the highs and lows, if there is any lows, is one of those things that you've been able to really nurture, because you have gone, I'm going to focus on the business and I'm going to focus on making sure that people are happy here, you know, and that there's no pressure to be a part of this community and they're really enjoying themselves. So how have you gone about, I guess, nurturing the community that you have?
Oh, look, I think it's quite simple.
Yeah.
Like, the people are that run this business. So people are my commodity. So if people feel welcomed, if people feel safe, people feel secure, then they'll buy in.
Yeah.
And once they're bought in, that they have a massive connection to the place and to the other members.
Yeah.
So sometimes you've almost got to foster the relationship of the members to the gym, to the other people, ahead of the program. I think the programming can kind of suit itself. Like the programming and the methodology behind CrossFit or the high intensity movements are constantly varied. At a basic level, we can deliver that in many different forms. But getting the people to buy in to what we're offering is the key, because I always found it's easier to keep someone than try and find new members.
For sure.
And I think what we've done really well here, and part of the demographic of Ferny Hills is it's very family orientated. There's 13 schools around us. So when I looked at the business, I went, right, who are going to be my clients? They're middle-aged people, most likely getting back into health and fitness because they've had time away, distracted with kids or, you know, life, building careers, all that sort of thing. So our focus, or our DNA, I guess, isn't trying to create elite athletes.
Yeah.
My focus is trying to make people better, healthier, fitter.
Every day.
And that comes in so many different shapes and sizes.
Yeah.
People have different goals. And I think it's important for longevity that people can move properly. They can squat to full depth. They can get their arms behind their shoulder. They can functionally move the way the body was intended before any load's put on. So we can create people moving the way they're meant to without the pressure of having to worry about numbers, and they feel better for it. And
injuries.
And
you know, all the other things, pieces that come with that adding load piece, you know. And you've got, you know, people that are training for longer. Yeah, you're just helping more people. Everything's
about consistency.
Yeah.
If you train consistently over a long period of time, the movement and the load is going to create a benefit, regardless of how much effort you put in every single day. You can't look at them as the output each day is irrelevant to the consistency of training over a month.
Yeah.
So I try to say to people, it doesn't matter if you come in and you've had a terrible day. but you want to move. Well, let's change things up. Let's just get you in the right mindset, get you moving, and then tomorrow you might be back on.
And you've created that environment where they're comfortable enough to share the fact that they haven't had a great day, and you can get them into that mindset, ready to go, and just move.
Well, most of my members will tell me when they walk in how good or bad they're at. So it's good that they're comfortable to say. That's
right. No,
say,
exactly.
Hey, how's it going? Oh, terrible. Had a really up night, or not when the kids are whatever. Right, let's tailor today to how you feel, and takes the pressure off.
Yeah, that's
because we're just trying to create an environment where people can train today to train for tomorrow and be consistent.
Yeah, that's really cool. And so just to finish that piece, because I feel like there's a lot of gym owners, especially in the CrossFit world, where as I said, they're stressed about the financial side of the business, and then the facility, and then the members, and everything together is a lot. So is there like two things or two pieces of advice that you would give to any gym owner out there that could have been in the game for 10 years, right? Like, I know you would, humility is your middle name, and you wouldn't consider yourself an expert in all of the areas, but I really feel like the space that you've created, and I just witnessed it, is a testament to what you and your team have done, right? So is there anything, from all of that, is there, 2, 3, 1 piece of advice that you would give to any of the gym owners out there that, might help them along the journey of building a community like yours?
Yeah, I think you can't look at CrossFit as a cookie cutter. I know the ethos and the programming behind CrossFit is the same for everyone, but I think what's really important is you have to understand your demographic.
Yeah.
So you have to understand the people that are around you, and that's the membership base which you're drawing from, and you have to tailor the environment. And I'm talking purely from a business point of view, not from a CrossFit methodology point of view. You have to tailor your product and your environment to the members that you're having coming in. I have a very middle-aged clientele, which is cool because that's my demographic, being over 50. And I think then you can get a great relationship, and people can relate to the programming and the ethos of how you do things within your gym.
Sure.
That's understanding your product.
Yeah.
And I think then the most important thing, without doubt, is understanding and communicating with your members.
Cool.
They have to be engaged in what you do.
Yeah.
So one rule I would have, which I just preach, and my coaches probably get sick of me saying it, but is you must touch every person twice in a session.
Yeah.
So by that I mean you either coach them, you say hello, you have a chat to them. In some way you engage with them on some level. It's not always a technique change or whatever. It's just because if you can hit someone twice or touch someone twice in that 1 hour, you're engaging with them. And that's important because they feel they're getting it's value for money. If they're paying to be here, then they should be coached. That's probably my if I'm drumming things into my coaches in particular, it's touch everyone twice in every session. And make a point of doing it. So if you look around the room and think, I haven't spoken to that person, I'll
make sure that they know.
I'll go over and I'll So because it's all about engagement with your members, which then creates community and flow on effect.
That's a testament, right? Yeah, it's awesome. And to kind of finish up, would love to talk about the relationship that we've had. I guess again, Faster and myself. I mean, I've dealt with you from the start, from the inception. Here, what brought you to AF initially?
Look, there was a couple of options out there that I looked at, and the box I had previously come from had a bit of a mismatch of equipment. I think a lot of boxers do that, but not that I'm OCD, but I just think I feel there's something very professional about having a standardised equipment.
Good call. Uniform.
And it's funny because we do get comments when people walk in here and go, "This place is really neat. It's really tidy.
I literally just heard that.
And that's a huge pat on the back because for me and for my coaches, because I also think if everything has its place and there's an expectation that we set it up that way, then members look after it because if you're just throwing stuff everywhere, then so I was
leading from the top.
So I was very. My thought process was I wanted to go an all-in-one approach with whoever I went with. I'd used your gear, Gain Faster, I thought it was a great quality.
Yep.
And I think from a commercial point of view, it was well priced. Some of the others were just so expensive. I just went, well, and am I even getting the value for money?
Yeah.
So what I wanted was good commercial grade equipment.
Yep.
But it had to be coupled with a company that wanted to work with me in partnership.
Yeah.
And something that I bought into very quickly was a conversation I had with you, where I said to you, "This is my vision. I'm planning on I want to hit 100 members, and that was always my ultimate goal. And this is my equipment list of hitting 100 members."
Yeah.
And you said, "Right, well, let's work on your goal of hitting 100 members." It wasn't like, "Oh, okay, well, let's just start you out here at buy 10 of this." But you were happy for me to kind of deal with me as a 100-member gym, knowing I was chipping away, but that was my goal. And I thought to me, that was a company, and obviously that was an influence of you, who wanted a long-term relationship. They weren't just trying to make a sale to get me up and running.
Yep.
You were like already thinking, if this guy can get to 100 members, it's a good business partnership because I'm going to keep buying more gear from you. And then I think from that relationship, one of the biggest things I've got out of dealing with you specifically and with Again Faster is your communication is really good. If I've ever had a problem or a question, nothing's ever too difficult. A phone call, conversation, and you kind of sort it out. So to me, that's partnerships.
It's awesome.
So I actually think it's been really cool.
Oh yeah, I've loved it.
But even beyond that, we've now developed a good friendship.
Yeah, that's right.
We talk a bit of crap on the phone before we even start the conversation usually.
That's right.
So and also that's partnerships extended through to Fittest in the Yard.
Yeah.
So I had a goal. I wanted to run a CrossFit comp.
Yeah.
Which in Karl fashion was not done on a small scale.
I was just about to say
300 people turn up.
Has been blown out.
Yeah. So we started with 191 people in the first year, and nearly 400 last year in our third year. And I 100% couldn't have done that without you guys.
Yeah.
So I'll always be appreciative of that. But I think CrossFit's a fairly small community. In the totality of everything we do,
it is.
And it's important to have good relationships, and we all benefit from it. So that was
for sure. Well, I mean, we have loved seeing you make the most creative benches in the whole world.
Yeah,
they're great.
A bit of pride and joy.
Yeah.
That was, and look,
that's why we chose these.
It's a byproduct of a flood. We had half a metre of water through here.
Yeah.
And I just went. I like to do things a little
Karl.
differently. Yeah.
The Karl touch.
Well, I just went, let's reupholster them. Old black's boring. So I own a cattle farm.
I can't believe that we didn't know that already. We should have been.
Yeah,
on this.
Well, you might learn a few things hanging around here, Jed.
Mate, we have loved having a partnership, and I can't wait to for the years to come for sure.
Yeah, cool.
Thanks a bunch.
Awesome. Thanks, Jed.
Appreciate it.